and welcome back to Art Life. Thank you so much for joining me today. While I have you, don't forget to like, subscribe and comment below because I've got heaps of fun art lessons coming up in the future for you. But today I'm going to teach you how to create this beautiful under the sea watery watercolour turtle, but we don't use any watercolours. Water-soluble markers, which means it's kid-friendly and mess-free. So make sure you come along with me today and I'll show you step by step how to make something super awesome just like this. What should I call you? Timmy the turtle? No. Thomas the turtle? No. Squirt? Shoot a comment below if you have a name for him because I can't really think of one. So the materials you'll need for today. Firstly, you're going to need some water-soluble textures or markers. I've got 3 different types here. Some highlighters, I haven't used these before, so we'll see how they go. I've got some Artline sticks. These are super vibrant and really cool. You'll find these at the Zart Art website. If you go to the link below, you can get a discount as well. And I've got some Faber-Castell markers. These are all water-soluble, and that's the key today. If you've got a Sharpie or something that says waterproof, it will not work for this task. We're turning these textures into watercolors, so we need things that are going to spread with water. So you also need water and a small paintbrush today and some paper. Now you can just use ordinary sort of white paper, but I'm going to be demonstrating on watercolor paper today. Watercolor paper is a little bit thicker and it can take more water. So it means it won't go bally or go soggy when you're adding the water in the steps later. So I just got this from Kmart. It was really quite cheap, and I suggest you invest in paper like this if you're going to have a go at this task. You will also need a grey lead to do some sketching. So let's get set up and we'll get started. How good's this baby? She just crawls around while I do painting. You're a legend. You say hi. So the first part of the task today is sketching out the turtle or whatever you're choosing to draw. So I'm going to just use a really light grey lead. We don't want to see our lines, so you notice I'm just sort of sketching quite lightly. And I'm going to start with his big shell. It's kind of like an oval or even like an upside down egg. So sketch that out. Something like that's pretty good. This is his head. Now his flippers or the legs kind of come out the front here with little arches and then come to sort of a rounded point like that. Take your time with your sketching, rub it out if you need to, but that's why it's really important just to lightly draw. If you draw too hard, it's really difficult to rub it out. So I suggest when you're doing this, just keep your sketches really light. I'm going to do the same thing down here. These flippers are a little bit smaller. The turtles have a little bumpy tail. Now on the inside of the shell, they have these amazing sort of hexagon kind of designs, and this part you can really just wing it, but the idea is that the shapes kind of connect together. You can see that I'm sort of making the shapes parallel to each other without touching. This part's a little bit more free flowy, but something kind of like that. You get the idea. All right, so here's my turtle. How's he looking? It's a bit difficult to see. Now, once you're happy, I know that you guys probably can't see that all too well because I haven't wanted to sort of draw too dark, but hopefully you've had a go at drawing your turtle. If you're having trouble, you could always print out a template or something to copy off the internet as well. Now what I've done is gather a whole bunch of markers. Notice they're all in sort of a greeny, bluey, purple sort of family. I want them to be an under the sea kind of scheme. You of course could use some other colors and do a bit more of an abstract turtle or something a little bit different, but I'm going to stick with sort of natural colors now. I've got lots of beautiful turquoise and blues and things like that. I'm going to use them together so that the colors mold together and it looks more dynamic than just using one or two colors. So the more variety of these greens and blues you have, the more impactful I think your work's going to be. So choose your first color. I'm going to really carefully outline. Feel free to always swap colors too. You don't have to stick with the same color the whole time. Now make sure you stay tuned because when I add water, my artwork is going to go to the whole new level. It's awesome. What I'm choosing to do at this point is kind of outline in some of the darker tones. Add a few different colors to each of them. And then on the inside, you can add in some lighter colors. I haven't used a highlighter with watercolors before, so hopefully these work. Notice I'm not really coloring all that neatly either. You don't really need to do that. Can't wait to show you the next part. So these colors, they're also known as cool colors, cold colors. You can probably see why. They sort of remind us of things that are cold, like things that are under the sea or a forest. Hence the name, cool colors. So you can see that I've mostly covered each of the sections. It's fairly messy. I haven't covered all of it. I want to let the water kind of bleed a little bit. So now it's time to add the water. It's very exciting. Okay, so the brush I have is a fairly small one because I want to keep the water controlled. If I were to just put water over the top like this, all the colors would run into each other. We would no longer see that it's a turtle. So we want to keep the color within these sections. We don't want to take the water outside of the sections that we've drawn and painted. I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to add some water and outline this section. Whilst adding the water, you can see that the paint kind of smudges. Now, the more texture that you did within each section, obviously the more colorful it's going to be. Depends if you want it to look really watery or whether you want it to look really colorful. And the idea is to sort of just move the paint around within each section, letting the colors bleed and blend with each other. You can see that you can still sort of see where I've painted. If I were to keep going, those sort of sections would disappear a little bit, but you don't want to keep going too much because we want to keep the sections of the colors sort of separate like that. So you can see what happens. Beautiful colors are starting to melt, I guess. You want to keep it nice and neat. Now, this task is appropriate for almost all ages. you know, what you could do with the younger kids is sort of draw, and they could colour it in with the chosen colours and then add the water. Some of the younger kids might need some help with this part, keeping the water controlled within each section. But I mean, I know I'm really enjoying this too, so hopefully adults get a kick out of this, and you might enjoy doing a bit of art and craft. If it's not working for you, I can suggest that you either haven't used enough textures, or possibly the paper that you're using is soaking up too much of the water, not allowing the colours to kind of bleed and blend like this. So please make sure you're using the correct materials. If it's not working, you can feel free to comment below and I can try and help you out with any troubleshooting issues. Just sit back, relax and enjoy. If you're a classroom teacher or a parent and love the idea of painting but don't love the idea of mess, this is a fantastic alternative. You can see that really I'm just painting with water, and there's no chance of paint spills and things like that because essentially we used markers. And you can see that the effect is really, really cool. You've just been playing while I've been drawing. Yeah. So it's as simple as that. I really hope you enjoyed it today and you use your markers to create watercolours. And make sure you're ringing that bell to get the notifications for when a new Art Life video pops up, because I'm going to be showing you some really fun and simple drawing activities in the future. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you again next time.